Now we jet off to Bangladesh. Rubbish! There's a lot of rubbish in Bangladesh. Dhaka is a densely populated capital city, and a lot of people equals a lot of rubbish. There's also a lot of textile factories there, particularly carpet factories, which make carpet from jute. But all that rubbish is good news for these ladies, because they actually earn their income by making paper out of other people's rubbish. So they take waste jute from the carpet factories and water hyacinth, which grows in Bangladesh's many waterways. And they turn those ingredients into beautiful paper products, something of every shade and colour. There's an awful lot of work in each piece of paper, lots of different stages along the way, from the threshing of the carpet waste of the jute to begin with, to mixing and pulping it, and rinsing and then mixing and pulping again, and once they've done that they do it again. There's lots of water involved in making a sheet of paper. The pulp is sieved and looks a little bit more like paper by the time it's left out in the sun to dry. So there's lots of jobs in a single piece of paper, and there's also good use of natural resources. So the jute and the water hyacinth, natural. The water, there's lots of water in Bangladesh, exactly what you need for making paper. And at the end of the process, the natural light from the sun, the warmth of the sun, used to dry the paper. So lots of jobs and lots of use of natural resources in a piece of paper. And this is a little product that we're stocking from that paper group this year. It's a Christmas tree streamer decoration. So once the paper has been made, all the jobs in that one sheet of paper, that's not the end of it, because then some other people have a job of turning it into a saleable product. In this case, folding little origami Christmas trees and attaching it to a streamer. So even in quite a simple product, there's a lot of jobs to be given to people living in poor communities. Another rubbish product that we stock takes crisp packets and turns them into waste paper bins. But don't worry, they are washed thoroughly in between. After the crisp packets are washed, they're cut up into strips, and these strips of coloured foil paper can be wrapped around cane or bamboo or grass, which are then woven together over a former. So in this case, it's a cube-shaped former, and if you look at our waste paper bin, you can see the finished product. Have a hold of it later, and it's actually quite a sturdy and robust structure, which is surprising when you think it's actually made of crisp packets. So what's the difference? This lady is Rebeya, and she works for the paper-making group, and they're called Shuktara. Now, Shuktara means evening star. So if you imagine the night sky, pitch black, and the first star to appear, the evening star, is a little bit of light in that expanse of darkness. So when Rebeya thinks of her employer, she thinks about that light in the darkness, about hope for the future. And hope for the future is exactly what Rebeya needed when she came to Shuktara 18 years ago. She had a young family, and she was abandoned by her husband. So she had no income, no way of supporting and raising her two young daughters. She had the emotional pain of that broken relationship with her ex-husband, plus the stigma of being an abandoned wife in Bangladeshi culture. She had very little hope for the future. But she came to Shuktara, and they offered her a job as the quality secretary, and you can see in this picture she takes her job seriously. So she inspects each piece of paper to make sure it meets the necessary quality criteria. And she's been with Shuktara for 18 years. It really helped her with that much needed income when her daughters were younger, and helped her rebuild her life after her husband left. She's still working with Shuktara, which makes her a bit of a mother or a grandmother to the organisation, if you like. And she now sees that she can help people who are younger than her. So ladies joining the organisation with similar stories to Rebeya can be helped. Rebeya can offer her experience, she can offer her sympathy and a listening ear to help those who are younger than her and who need her help now. And when we asked Rebeya what she thought about her job, she said, "Shuktara is my life. Please give us more orders. We want to do more work." And that's such a common thing to hear our craftsmen saying when we travel overseas. I'm often asked to ask on behalf of Tear Fund, what can we do to help you? And I expect the answer to be, oh, perhaps some money towards a new sewing machine or some request like that. But time and again, the answer is, please give us more orders. So that's why what you all do in this room and what Created do is so important, because we're offering an access point into the Western markets to fulfil that request for more orders. Because our craftsmen want the dignity of paid employment. They want to work for what they have. And that's so encouraging to know it's not about just giving handouts, but people wanting to help themselves.